Hello everyone, welcome to economics classes by Bisha and Arpita. So in this series of macroeconomics, today we'll be covering Keysian model. So as we know, output is always equal to aggregate demand. And aggregate demand, we have few components: consumption, investment, government expenditure, and net exports, wherein income, and we also derive is curve from this equation as well, wherein I means income and S means spending, which is on the domestic goods. So all these components are of domestic goods. So if consumption is of domestic, investment domestic, everything is of domestic. So in order to derive domestic component of consumption, as we know, the consumption is aggregate of both foreign consumption and domestic consumption. In order to derive domestic consumption, we will subtract foreign consumption from the total consumption and we'll get this. So C minus CF will get domestic consumption. Similarly, for investment, we'll subtract investment which is in foreign, which we have to subtract from the total investment, and we'll derive this. Similarly for government expenditure plus exports. And as we know, all the components, the consumption, investment, and foreign, that forms the part of imports. Consumption that I did in a foreign country, investment, and the government expenditure will form a portion of imports. So in two sector economy, I'm going to discuss how is the flow of incomes. So in two sector economies, we have two components: household is there and a firm is there. In household we have factors of production who will give factor services to the firms, and in return of the factor services, firms will give them factor payments. So those income will be saved by the households and there will be investments by the firms. So output is equal to AD and Y is equal to an AD. As I told, there's a two sector economy, so government is not there, so we'll just add consumption and investment together and it's a closed economy model. So Y is equal to C plus I, and as I said, the income that is invested by a firm is also saved by, and for the household, the factor of production saves some of the income. So that income that is saved, so some part they'll invest and some part they'll consume and save some of the part. The household allocation is like that, and if we cut both the consumption portion from each of them, we'll derive savings is equal to investment. And at equilibrium level of income, this is the situation at equilibrium level of income. Now we'll move towards the three sector economy, wherein there is also a portion of government expenditure. So Y is equal to AD, and here we would have C plus I plus G, wherein government is also there. So the government expenditure is there. Similarly, if we see the household side, the allocations would be, some part would be consumed, saved, and some would be there for the taxation. So if we cut consumption, we'll get S plus T equals to I plus G. So this would be the injection to the economy, and S plus T would be the leakage to the economy. The savings are always leakage to the economy, and investments are always injection to the economy. And if government do some of the expenditure for the general public, that also comes as a portion for injections. And similarly, we'll go ahead with the four sector model, where S plus T plus M is equal to, we'll cut the CC portion, we'll get imports on this side and exports on this side. So part of the import is not consumed, that is also a leakage to the economy. So in the next thing is the stock. The if y, the output is not equal to aggregate demand, so there can be two possibilities for that situation. That is, y would be greater than aggregate demand or y would be less than aggregate demand. So if output is greater than aggregate demand, so in that situation stock will increase and output will increase. I mean, when demand is not that much, but output that is produced by firm is a lot, so there will be unplanned inventory investment by the firms. So in that situation stock will increase, so firms will try and reduce their output in order to achieve the equilibrium between both of them. That is why an aggregate demand. So, in this situation, they'll try and reduce their output because, as we know, there is unplanned inventory investment that is done. And the other part is when output is less than aggregate demand. Demand is lot more than output that is produced in the economy, so in that situation will fall short of stocks. So in that situation firms will try and increase the output so that y becomes equal to ad, and at equilibrium our output and aggregate demand both will be equal. So in that situation our unplanned inventory would be equal to 0 because both these components are equal. There is no excess demand for the output that is there. Got it? So this is all for today's lecture. In the next lecture we'll be covering types of market. So before going, please do like, share and subscribe to Economics Classes by Avisha and Arpita. Bye bye.